Meanwhile, at Elf HQ.
And on this street stood the home and workshop of Hermann the shoemaker.
Oh, what does he make? Like custom gun racks or outhouses or canoes or...
Uh-oh, there was Johanna, Hermann's wife. Where had Hans been? Gossiping in the square? Never had she seen a lazier apprentice.
Yikes, somebody woke up on the wrong side of the lump of straw.
Now he'd better come up before he got the beating he deserved.
Well, this place isn't charming anymore.
With Johanna so angry, it might be best for Otto to wait outside. That was all right with Otto. He had the bread and cheese he'd brought along to eat. But he certainly hoped that Hans wouldn't be beaten on his account.
Time to take a side quest.
Now he'd wait for the seneschal to meet him here.
Cartoon cheese.
No sooner had Hans come into the common room, which was parlor, dining room, and kitchen all in one, than Johanna told him he had missed breakfast. But if he worked hard, he might have some of the soup she was making for the midday meal.
She seems like a real sweetheart.
It was a rich mutton soup, flavored with plenty of spices. Many of these spices came from eastern lands.
Like India and Cleveland.
Hermann the shoemaker finished his breakfast quickly. The seneschal would be coming soon to pick up the new shoes for the nobleman. Hans was to sew on the buckles.
Go anywhere in history, and kids are making shoes for rich people.
They'd best get downstairs to the shop.
Every moment away from Johanna is like a blissful vacation.
When Hermann and Hans came into the shop, they found Rolf, the journeyman, already hard at work.
Or hardly work and... Oh, wait, does that apply? I don't know. Hey, he's Emo Phillips.
As a journeyman, Rolf was a skilled craftsman who received wages. He was an expert shoemaker, well acquainted with the tools and materials of his craft.
He's got a pizza
He could
cutter,
cut a
big deal.
leather pattern in moments and fit the parts together over a wooden form called a last to make a fine shoe.
Gesundheit.
Rolf would become a master shoemaker like Hermann once he had saved enough money to open a shop of his own.
Over at the Woodbury Outlets.
Hans was good at his work, but Hermann knew the boy had a lot more to learn before he might even think of becoming a journeyman. Right now, Hans was simply an apprentice, an unpaid helper, learning a craft from a master and helping out in the master's household in exchange for room, board, and instruction.
And don't forget the beatings. Constant looming threat of beatings.
It might be 10 years before Hans ended his apprenticeship by making a master's piece that would show the guild masters all he had learned about the craft of shoemaking.
My real passion is Twitch streaming.
They might even be shoes like these.
Or maybe even nice ones.
Hermann and the other craftsmen of the guild would examine the work, and if they approved the quality, they would make Hans a journeyman.
Oh, like Mutt Taylor or Shunt McGuppin?
Hermann was a good master who had instructed many apprentices. But the guild must have the final say as to whether a boy was skilled enough to be called a journeyman.
Like Cubby Louderborn or Jimmy Blades.
Ah, here was the guild warden, or inspector, who came regularly to the shop.
Ooh, big shot.
The warden saw to it that all masters followed the guild rules. These rules set the number of hours journeymen and apprentices worked, and set high standards of workmanship and quality.
He's just a regional manager. He still reports to corporate.
Yes, Rolf's work was well up to the standards set by the guild for journeymen.
But he's still being replaced by a clockwork automaton.
The warden even checked on the quality of work done by apprentices.
Everybody needs a chuckle now and then.
This matter of quality was of great importance to the guild and its members.
They prided themselves in having slightly fewer holes and dead rodents in their shoes than their competitors.
Quality was important to men like this merchant, who sold shoes in the great marketplaces of Europe.
Like Tesco's and Sainsbury's?
He had to be assured of honest work and quality, or else he would take his business to craftsmen in other towns. The merchant had come to find out when he could expect several dozen slippers he had ordered.
For he was the shittiest gift giver in the land.
Hermann was happy to say they would be ready in a few days, long before the merchant's ship was to sail.
He also asked the merchant if he would be interested in a protection plan for the slippers.
Oh, yes. Things were going well in the workshop of Hermann the shoemaker.
Until Ella McPherson showed up.
Was this another customer? No, it was a serf.
Oh.
Otto was still waiting for the seneschal. Hermann invited him inside.
No thanks.
Never before had Otto seen a master's shop. And, of course, there was Hans, his new friend.
And fellow slave child.
Hans had finished his work with much skill.
I ran out of thread and glue, so I used my own filth.
Weren't they beautiful?
Yeah, why not?
How soft the leather was. How handsome the buckles. Truly, these were a nobleman's shoes.
Let's take turns spitting in them.
Ah, the seneschal. Were the nobleman's shoes ready? They had just been finished. The seneschal was pleased.
I am pleased.
Where was the money the butcher had given Otto?
It's Pogs now. Is this fungible?
Yes, it was good money, which Hermann accepted for the shoes.
So these guys are basically secret shoppers for some rich dude.
The nobleman was sure to like his new shoes, and the seneschal would soon return with another order.
And a fresh boy.
Otto hoped he might come along then to visit Hans, his new friend, at the shop of the shoemaker.
Yeah, they really formed a lifelong bond, those two. Alas, the Renaissance Fair was closing for the day.
Very slowly, the old way of life, which had centered about the manor, disappeared. And a new way of life, based on trade and learning, took root in the medieval town.
The beast that would evolve into capitalism had emerged from hell. This movie really bent over backwards to avoid a great many unpleasant realities of medieval life. That winter, Otto got a hangnail and had his arm amputated. The seneschal was wrongly accused of eating one of the nobleman's turnips and was publicly hanged.
Thank you so much for watching Fun with Shorts. This series is supported by Patreon and patrons like these wonderful people right here. They get early access to new episodes and exclusive episodes every month. Also, check out the updated funwithshorts.com for DVDs and merch and all the good stuff. Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you next time.